The 27th of April of 1928 was born the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity in Colombia. That day Israel Rojas Romero, a young man of body, but old of soul, in the company of a lady, and 6 nights began the work of the diffusion of the spiritual light in our beloved country. Dr. Arnold O. Cromheller, an eminent Gnostic spiritualist, herald of Rosicrucian knowledge, direct disciple of the adept Rakoczy, after having given the first initiation in the inner worlds to young Israel, arrived in the year of 1929 to Bogota to give strength to the nascent fraternity. In the year 1930, after having established telepsychic connection with the young director of the fraternity in Colombia, arrived the Master Maximus Neumayer, dictating public and private lectures. He cured many human beings of his ailments, instructed the Master Rojas, and some brothers of the novel fraternity. He brought with him the only deep book he wrote, Greatness of the Psychotherapy, where he teaches his healing method. In the year of 1932 emerged in the environment the adept Zanoni. During his stay he healed many human beings, instructed some brothers, and spiritually initiated in the subtle world to Master Rojas, giving him encouragement and impulse to defeat on 3 successive occasions to the guardian of the threshold. He accompanied in sporadic appearances for 3 years to Master Rojas and the fraternity. From that moment, already fully consolidated from the internal worlds, the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity marched for 57 years under the aegis of Rakoczy, initiatic name conferred to the ego, center of sensibility and consciousness that led the personality we met with the name Israel Rojas Romero. In that time, the Master tirelessly dictated public and private lectures in several cities in Colombia, in some of Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama and Argentina. He wrote 16 books for the public on health issues, comprehensive education, esotericism and spirituality. Here we present his titles: Feminine Dignification, Child's Intimate Culture, Intimate Culture of the Young Man, Logosophy, By the Trails of the World, The Secret of Health and the Key to Youth, Spiritualism and Evolution, Heal Yourself Eating and Drinking, Woman's Health, The Ideal Sense of Life, The Problem of the World, The Enigma of Man, Handbook Rosicrucian, Lives Healthy, The Source of Life, The Great Scourges of the Race, of the Internal Courses for to study, to meditate and to practice we have as precious inheritance, 14 volumes of the classes of Holy Kabbalah that Master Rakoczy dictated since the year of 1954 to year of 1985. A tome on sacred gnosis and biognosis, a tome about the Atlantine culture, 3 volumes of esoteric lectures on the Rosicrucian cosmo-conception, 3 volumes of psychophysiology, a volume of 46 lessons on internal esotericism, a volume of psychodynamics, a tome on the 7 schools of traditional esotericism, a tome of Theosophy, a tome of alchemy, a tome about Rosicrucian Christianity, a tome of questions and answers, a tome of the Sharon's Rose. For 51 years he published and distributed freely the Rosicrucian magazine with the intention that it would be useful to humanity in the solution of its health problems through natural formulas based on botany, orientation to their psychological problems, guide to the direction of your generative, emotional, psychic, mental and spiritual energies, bringing in their covers and editorials living examples of great beings, of ladies and gentlemen worthy to be taken as examples for youth. Transmission of values essential for the future and survival of humanity, such as respect for our Mother Nature, the plant kingdom and especially the trees, as receptacles that make possible the human to exist. In summary, on all the topics that contributes to the integral development of the human being. In the same philosophical pattern of the magazines, Master Rogozini edited pamphlets for both the public and the fraternity students, of which only as an illustration we bring the cover of a few. In the same way, with an intense feeling of philanthropy and altruism, he distributed leaflet as the sample we are seeing to combat smoking, alcoholism, and instead to acquire the good habit of reading to self-illustrate and progress. Or like this one with philosophical poems of his authorship to promote the awareness of the law of cause and effect. Or from the authorship of great masters like the Adept Kuthumi. Or like the one we are observing with Kabbalistic poems for consecrated brethren. The primordial feature that the initiate Rogozini printed to the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity is to be anti-dogmatic. The ancient Rosicrucian fraternity does not dogmatize, does not proselytize, disseminates its knowledge freely and gracefully, without impositions, respecting the most sacred that the divinity granted to the human being, free will. The ancient Rosicrucian fraternity is a spiritualistic school practicing universal eclectic esotericism as taught by the Master. Eclecticism has the advantage of stopping us from falling into fanaticism and intolerance. The previous implies the fact of recognizing that the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity is not the only possessor of the truth, that no institution and no human being can be attributed itself such possibility. Thanks to his great spiritual evolution with a wise criterion, he advised us, for study and seek the truth, a selection of authors of scientific esotericism, in a hierarchical gradation that goes from simplicity to complexity. So, we have the following list: Orison Swett Martin, William Walker Atkinson, Ralph Waldo Trine, Swinburne Clymer, Franz Hartmann, Max Heindel, Rudolf Steiner, Eduard Schur, Manly Palmer Hall, Arnold Kromheller, Jeffrey Hodson, Annie Besant, Charles Webster Leadbeater, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ramakaraka, Bulwer Lytton, Dion Fortune, Gerard Enkhaus, Papus, Eliphas Levi, Helen Petrovna Blavatsky. On the Sunday, 10th of June 1985, with the fraternal feeling like a flower of the skin, the Master said goodbye to his students with these last words: Fairies, Rosicrucian and Knights of the Order work by feel the very essence of the life in your being, and so reach to realize the own divinity underlying in it. Exactly 18 days later, on the 4th of July 1985, he abandoned their physical envelope, and their essential being rose spiritually to the subtle worlds. From the 5th of July 1985, and for almost 30 years, the Brother Jesus Gonzalez biases succeeded to him. Brother Jesus Gonzalez continued practicing with enthusiasm and fidelity the guidelines for the functioning of the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity instituted and practiced exemplarily by the initiated Rogozini. Brother Jesus Gonzalez continued to dictate public lectures and to coordinate the study of the internal teachings left by the Master. Brother Jesus Gonzalez continued with the publication of the Rosicrucian magazine. And as we can see on the cover of Rosicrucian magazine issue number 7, he invited from December 21st to December 23rd of 1919 to the holding of the Second Rosicrucian Congress in Colombia. And he left evidence of his realization in the Rosicrucian magazine issue number 8. During those 3 days were held 17 conferences that counted on the active representation of the brothers from the different lodges and pre-lodges of the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity in Colombia. For the 75th anniversary of the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity in Colombia, he edited the Rosicrucian magazine issue number 9. For the golden weddings of the beginning of the classes of Holy Kabbalah, it published the Rosicrucian magazine issue number 10. He decorated its cover with the image of the illustrious British Kabbalist Dion Fortune, Violet Mary Firth, author of the book, Mystical Kabbalah. In June 2012 he directed the edition of his last magazine, the issue number 18. He puts in the cover the image of the symbol of the man of Aquarius that consciously irrigates his chakras or lotuses with the germ waters of the life, sublimating those energies towards the sky of the spirituality and harmony. Analogous to the action of Master Rogozini, the second esoteric president and director of the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity in Colombia, Brother Jesus Gonzalez Biases published leaflets of transcendental content for the well-being of mankind. Equally important pamphlets of anniversary celebrations, for example that of the 60th anniversary. Also, flyers with Kabbalistic poetry of the Master like the one we have before the view in the occasion of the golden weddings of the beginning of the classes of Holy Kabbalah, or like this of the anniversary Kabbalistic number 55. Under the direction of Brother Jesus Gonzalez was published on the internet the first website of the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity. Likewise, the Facebook site of the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity. On March 30, 2015, after completing 94 years of age, Brother Jesus Gonzalez abandoned the forum, and continues his spiritual activity on the worlds called Invisibles. From March 31, 2015 has been running the destiny of the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity by our third esoteric president and director, Brother Manuel Gonzalez Camargo. Faithful to the example and guidelines of his predecessors, Brother Manuel has continued to disseminate the wisdom and Rosicrucian ideals through the free printing and distribution of the Rosicrucian magazine, some of whose specimens we illustrate in these images, being the last of them the impression of December 2017, that refers to the School of the Essence. We also illustrated some covers of the leaflets printed by Brother Manuel Gonzalez on vital teachings left by the Master as the titled, The Ghost of the Centuries, to learn to overcome fear, and in return to gain confidence in divinity and itself. Or the booklet that treats the meaning of, the symbolism of the rose and the cross. Oh, the knowledge of man, to understand the integrality of the human being as a spiritual, psychic, imaginal, sensitive, mental, vital and bodily entity. Or the one that elucidates the three universal and cosmic laws that manage the destiny of the human being: evolution, causality and rebirth. Or Annie Besant's brilliant dissertation on karma. Or the compilation made by Dr. Humberto Vargas on the sexual energy. With the direction of Brother Manuel Gonzalez, the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity has activated its channel on YouTube, taking at the time of the realization of this audio-visual 3,062 subscribers of 49 different nationalities. 66 videos have been uploaded to the public, seen in 235,755 reproductions made by viewers of 133 nationalities, in a total of 4,939,468 minutes of visualization time. At present, the ancient Rosicrucian Fraternity in Colombia has its headquarters in the capital city, Bogotá, a lodge in the city of Cali, a lodge in the city of Caracas, Venezuela, a lodge in the city of Manizales, a lodge in the city of Medellin, a lodge in the city of Neiva, a lodge in the city of Palmira, A lodge in the city of Colombia. A pre-lodge in the municipality of La Dorada, called as department. A pre-lodge in the municipality of Villa Maria, called as department. 27th day of April of 1928. 27th day of April 2018. 90th anniversary of the ancient Rosicrucian fraternity in Colombia. 90 years being promoters of the light. Light diffusers. Propagators of the light.